What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse ranch, no hate. Take a listen. This is Blue Blood.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, BlueBlood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, journalist with a medical background who have went to medical school, Lance Pugmire, says that he understands and he diagnosed former WBC heavyweight world champion, Olympic bronze medalist, superstar boxer, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, for his reasoning for being quiet and being mute to the public and not doing interviews and not showing his face in the public and not being present, being out of sight, out of mind. He says that when you have a situation like Deontay Wilder did in the rematch with Tyson Fury, you come up with all of these different reasons for why you lost. He says, and you also go into, that's the first sign, that's one of the signs of going into depression, is what Lance Pugmire stated. The thing about this in its totality is this. Deontay Wilder will be facing Tyson Fury December 19th in a trilogy match. Okay? Deontay Wilder is not mute to the public. He's just picking and choosing what media he chooses to talk to, because every little thing he says, they turn it into a whole different story. A la the suit being too heavy for explaining the reasoning for him not having his legs and losing to Tyson Fury in the rematch, which was never said, and that was taken out of context, and it was ran as truth, as if he said that the suit was too heavy, so that's why he lost the fight. And that wasn't the furthest thing, that was the furthest thing from the truth.
I gotta call bullshit on that. Now, I don't care how much of a Deontay Wilder fan you are. This is not about, again, who likes Deontay Wilder, who doesn't like Deontay Wilder. This has nothing to do with that. Let me call bullshit on this. First off, Blue Blood said Deontay Wilder is not mute to the public. He's just being choosy about which media he speaks to. Who is he speaking to? Why isn't he speaking to him? Everything that he said about Deontay Wilder himself and all of the other channels, he's talking about, people take things into misconstrue what people say, and they take it the wrong way. Deontay Wilder has not been saying anything about Tyson Fury, about Glovegate, okay? He has not been addressing any of these things that these guys are talking about. And it's not about anybody misconstruing what Deontay Wilder say. It's about us debating the fact that you guys keep saying you have facts, okay? Facts that you don't have. Now, even if this Lance Pugmire guy is a psychologist or whatever he is or whatever, okay, well, that will make him qualified, right? To diagnose someone when you don't have that qualification. But everything you say, okay, from a medical autopsy, all this nonsense that poisoned water, all these allegations, it's true when you guys say it. But when someone else says something, you see how easy it is for them to try to debunk something someone says. But when you say, okay, now here's what I'm saying. I'm not at all saying Deontay Wilder is in any depression. You've seen the videos I made where I said Deontay's chilling. It's these guys who keep making these videos about Deontay, saying what Deontay is going to do, what's going to happen. Somebody else coming with some more so-called evidence with allegations about what somebody told him before or what somebody did. None of that has nothing to do with what happened in the ring between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Also, did you all not hear Deontay Wilder standing at the end of that fight and say, we already had leg complications coming into the, to the fight, but just and talk about the suit that he had. Did you not hear him say that? Did you not hear JD say Did you not hear JD say, I don't know, maybe this suit being a little heavy that, may have had something to do with it. So is JD's also misconstruing what he said? He clearly said the costume was too heavy. It weakened his legs. He said that. He was quoted. Stephen A. repeated it. Max Kellerman, everybody. Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, everybody and a mama's mama heard him say that. Now BlueBlood is saying all of us are misconstruing what Deontay says every time. He said, no, that's all he said. You guys are the ones talking about poison water, floppy glove, unpadded glove, loaded glove. Tyson Fury was on drugs. Even Evander Holyfield said it. Other fighters said blah, blah, blah. Mayweather Gym was full of fighters putting on the gloves to show everybody. That's bullshit. There's no way that you could get power. It would work against you. And then also with being Deontay Wilder is the worst fucking defensive fighter of all times. If a man can put his glove halfway on and still beat your ass. At the end of the day, they're biased. See, this is what I'm talking about. This has nothing to do with supporting Tyson Fury. I don't give a shit about Tyson Fury. It's what you're saying, okay? What you're saying. You're debunking your own bullshit because you're sitting here saying Deontay Wilder didn't say something that he clearly said and everybody heard it. Matter of fact, I'm going to make a video right after this. I'm going to play Deontay Wilder saying this shit. I got the video already in my archives with JD saying, well, maybe the costume was, I know that was a bit heavy enough. Come on, man. That might have had something to do with it, maybe, but what? No. He said that. There's no misconstruing anything. But why is it that if anybody else says something that doesn't favor Deontay Wilder, they're quick to jump on that? Well, no, it can't be that. Deontay only spoke about that costume shit at the end of that fight. The next video we seen from Deontay was, your king is here. I will rise like a phoenix from the ashes. The war has just begun. That's what the next video was. When he addressed anything about that fight, what did he say? He does not see Fury as the champion. He was like a zombie in there, blah, blah, blah. So what was misconstrued? He clearly said that about the costume. So BlueBlood is not hearing something that everybody else is hearing, right? This is what I'm talking about. When people say things and people don't hold them accountable, like, what are you getting this from? He clearly said that. Okay, now, does Deontay Wilder look like he's stressed out and depressed to me? No. Did I not put a video up of Deontay Wilder at the damn range shooting? And I'm like, he don't look like no depressed. Oh, I'm sick, laying up. No, it's these guys that make him sound like that. It's not Deontay. I've said that a million times. It's not Deontay. Deontay's not saying any of this. It's coming from these guys. And if he's being choosy about the media he speaks to, what do they have? A secret video catalog? Because he hasn't been on BlueBlood show. He hasn't been on 7-8 Sports. He hasn't been on Dante's Boxing Nation. We all know that this guy right here, BlueBlood, this brother has access to Deontay. So why hasn't he been on any of these guys' shows? His biggest supporters. Why hasn't Stephen A. or anybody else? So you mean if we sit down and talk to somebody like Stephen A. Can't interview Deontay Wilder and they can't make crystal clear what his stance is on all of this? Or whatever it is everybody's expecting to come from out of him? Because I said plain and simple and I mean it. Deontay is going to dismiss all that. He's already doing it. So now you're saying he's being careful of who he's speaking to. Based on what? What video? What has he done? He just crystallized what I said. Other than those few videos, everything Deontay has done video-wise had nothing to do, whether it was the twerking video, the Juneteenth, whatever, the shooting range, nothing to do with Tyson Fury or his state of mind. He said he's good. I clearly played that clip in my video. Now, if you're going to say, now I don't know how long ago Lance Pugmire made this video or said what he said, but at the end of the day, how Deontay felt right after that fight, oh, he didn't sound like a happy man when he did all that. Your king is here. all the screw faces. Oh, he didn't sound happy then. But all of these other things, he got hematomas on his head, on his neck, claims coming from these people that support, okay, from his brother, from this guy Drew and all these guys. This is what I'm saying. It's these guys that's making the claims. You see how they try to switch the narrative around? Oh, every time Deontay says something, people... No, it's not coming from Deontay. It's coming from them. How many times do I have to say it? It's not coming. Nobody's attacking. Look, nobody's attacking Deontay. Nobody's attacking BlueBlood. Nobody's attacking Dante or 7-8 Sports, whoever supports Wilder. What we're saying is, okay, you guys keep saying you have something that we're going to see, or Deontay's going to present some information, and then it doesn't happen. So what are we doing here? Let's continue.
With that said, Deontay Wilder, like I stated, is very choosy of who he talks to currently right now.
Who's he talking to?
Now, understand, has he had a public interview? No, not yet. But he's in great spirits.
So how is he being choosy about who? Does that make any sense? He's being choosy about who he speaks to, but he hasn't publicly said nothing to anybody. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? He's being choosy, and I'm not misconstruing nothing his brother just said. You heard him. He's being choosy, okay, about who he speaks to. Now, has he made a public interview yet? No. But how do you know what he's doing? And again, if Deontay is even telling him this, he would be saying, Deontay Wilder told me himself, blah, blah, blah. And if you can't say that, you shouldn't even address this whole situation at all, because everything coming out of your mouth is what you think about Deontay, not what Deontay told you. And I said Deontay looks like he's in good spirits. This is my whole thing. You see, but here's the switch now. Every time Deontay says something, people misconstrue. Nope, it's not Deontay. It's not coming from Deontay. It's him and other people that keep saying, Deontay this, Deontay that, and what's going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is what Fury did, and other sources say, trusted sources tell me. This is all we keep hearing. Let's continue.
Deontay Wilder is back training, back preparing for Tyson Fury in the trilogy match. He's in great spirits. He's scuba diving down in Miami. You see him going to different, activities, right? He went to the range. That was videotaped and put out to the public.
I gave y'all that.
You seen him scuba diving. You seen him riding his motorcycle. So you see, he's out and about. As far as Lance,
he's out and about. Let me call some more bullshit, right? He's out and about. He's scuba diving. He's shooting at the range. He's riding his bike. Exactly what I said about 8 videos ago. Deontay Wilder is not talking about any of this. He's not addressing any of this. Okay? So to say, okay, let's reiterate. To say he's being choosy about who he speak with. He's not speaking to anyone. This is right in your face. And if y'all can't see this, you don't want to see it. You just basically want to be blind and fed bullshit. Okay? Now, I'm not supporting what Lance Pugmire says to be true. I don't know that. Maybe in the beginning he had depression. We're all human. We feel depression. There's no particular expiration date. Depending on what your situation is and the progression that you make to defeat that situation, it could be a day, 2 days, a week, a month. Hey, it happens. So we can't, how can any of us say what if he was or wasn't depressed? So I don't know how long ago this video that Lance Pugmire did, but the brother BlueBlood is saying that he basically doesn't see things the way Lance Pugmire is saying, right? Like I said, I don't know. And I'm not at all, especially now, if Lance Pugmire put this out recently, and let's say, I'm gonna look for that video and watch it. Let's say if he said, this is what Deontay has went through. Look, going to the shooting range, riding his bike, doing the scuba diving, all of that may even be a way of, hey, let me get through this depression. Let me do some things that I can enjoy and focus on. Forget about this whole situation, all this nonsense, and then I get back in training, get refocused. You understand what I'm saying? That could have been, his therapy. We don't know that. So I wouldn't sit here and say, you know why Deontay is doing all this scuba diving and riding bike? That's his therapy. Facts. I know that. No, I don't know that. BlueBlood doesn't know that. And Lance Pugmire, he could be 100% wrong. Now, let's be real. We all go to doctors for something, right? How the fuck can I sit here and tell my doctor, I don't have this or I do have this? Doctors fuck up and make mistakes. They can, but when somebody studies a particular field, we trust their judgment. This is why we go to doctors. Okay? Because we could cure and heal ourselves and understand what our situations are, then, we would not have to go to a doctor. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that he's depressed now. He probably was in the beginning. But regardless, everything that we're saying, that we're debunking, is coming from these other channels. It's not coming from Deontay Wilder. Of course, we wasn't trying to hear this whole costume story. Now, you hear how he's saying. Now, listen. So for BlueBlood to say oh, people took what he said the wrong way about the costume, that's the furthest thing from the truth. Okay, you're debunking something that clearly Deontay Wilder said. And I know it's going to be a lot of, oh, no, but no, bunch of childish, ignorant people who I'm going to wind up blocking and deleting anyway. Doesn't matter, okay? Because I'm not here to appease you motherfuckers. But I'm here to tell the truth, okay? And bring light to make sense out of something that sounds completely stupid to not just myself, but everybody. If you are going to say he didn't say anything, okay? He did not say that about the costume. People took it wrong. Can you explain yourself and say what he meant? Because he simply said he had a 45-pound costume. I'm going to do a follow-up video to this and make it known so you can hear it from Deontay's mouth, because people somehow they forget things that they forget these things that work against a person. We just look. If you're going to speak, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Let's go on.
Pugmire diagnosing him and saying that he's in a deep depression. Once again, you have a media member, a journalist, that has not spoken to him. That has not.
Gotta call bullshit. Now, do I think Deontay Wilder is in a deep depression now? No. Could he have been? Very possible. Yes. Yes. Especially him saying, I don't see Fury as the champion. He's in denial. He couldn't say, hey, look, the better man won, but you know what? I'm going to get him in the next fight. Simple. Simple. So people, but he's a warrior. No, warrior my ass. That has nothing to do with it. That's being delusional. It's like Rolly Romero's corner talking to him, making him think that he's winning this fight. Even though it was a robbery, and we all felt like, nah, man, they're telling him the wrong things because he clearly was losing that fight, right? Okay, same thing. Same thing. The guy is in denial. He's in denial. He's in denial. So when he's saying, I don't acknowledge him as the champion, okay, let's just say he would have beat Fury. And let's say it was a majority decision. Let's say they beat the shit out of each other. And Tyson Fury said, I don't acknowledge Deontay Wilder as the champion. Why not? Do you think Deontay would understand that and agree with that? Do you think his fans would understand and agree with that? Absolutely not. The man just beat you. How do you know? How do you not acknowledge him as the champion? Right? How? This was a completely one-sided ass whooping. And he's saying he doesn't acknowledge him as the champion. Why? He wasn't himself in there. So what was the issues? And Deontay himself said the costume. And we had leg complications coming in. Let's go on.
Tested the gauge of the temperature of what's going on with him. Doesn't understand what changes he made. What's his mindset like? And they're already claiming that they know what's wrong with him.
And you do?
That's the reason why he's picking and choosing what media he talks to. For Lance Pugmire, who has a medical background, and says that without talking to Deontay Wilder, without understanding what's going on with Deontay Wilder, without gauging the temperature, like I said.
I gotta call bullshit again. He again says Lance Pugmire, who hasn't spoken to him. Now he make it sound like he's saying he has. But you notice how nothing he says, I don't give a shit about scuba diving and shit that we can turn a video on and see. That would just show you, no, he's not focused on this bullshit, right? But if he reached out and said anything to BlueBlood, BlueBlood has not said one time what Deontay Wilder has told me in regards to this and that or his state of mind. And again, if Deontay don't want you to say that, why don't you skip this kind of video and go to something else to talk about? Because, see, you're giving your intake, your opinions, but we're supposed to take it like it's factual because you're saying it. And we're saying, where are you getting this from? The same way you're saying Lance Pugmire didn't talk to him, this is what we're saying. Where are you getting all this information from? And he's not even giving us information. That's noteworthy. Scuba diving, riding the bike, shooting guns. I put the video up of him shooting guns. We've seen the scuba diving. We've seen this is stuff that he wanted us to see. Again, he's not addressing any of this stuff that they're talking about, all this controversy. He's not even touching on that. Let's not lose sight of what's going on. And I'm doing this way because as the video goes on, people forget. They forget key points. So I'm bringing them back. Let's continue.
Of the changes, activities, and why he's picking and choosing which media he talks to. Lance Pugmire is claiming to diagnose him with deep depression. This is the reason why boxers pick and choose who they want to talk to.
Let me call bullshit one more time. First of all, it's been months since Deontay Wilder said anything about boxing. The last thing he said about boxing was, I believe in glass a glass, directed at Dillian White. Nothing that these guys are talking about. This is what see, for us that's saying, all right, BlueBlood, we hear you, brother. We hear everybody else. But what we trying to get from you guys is y'all keep saying that Deontay said, or Deontay's going to do this, and what happened, and Fury did, and this and that, and people said, and others have said, right? Where is this information, bro? Y'all got to do better than putting a boxing glove with a circle around it and then making a whole... Anybody can look at a picture and get a million different thoughts from that one picture. No. We're talking about proof of accusations. The only people that's been constantly talking about Deontay Wilder, are the boxing channels. And this is what we're debating when we hear stuff that just doesn't add up and make sense. So when he's saying people keep, listen, his words, people keep, misconstruing what Deontay said. What Deontay hasn't been saying anything, which is what he also follows up and said. He's defeating the purpose from one statement with the next statement that he's making. That's coming from his mouth. He's saying one thing and then says something else that completely debunks that. How are we misconstruing anything that the man is not saying? What are we saying that Deontay said other than the costume shit? Everybody got the glass Russian shit because we are, bro, what are we debunking about Deontay? We're debunking what these guys are saying. Okay? Not particularly there's not a focus on any of these guys, but you put the videos up and then you guys are not coming through with the information that you guys are saying. Don't tell me a doctor is supposed to speak. Then the fucking doctor doesn't speak. Don't get some other team members. No. I've never seen a fight negotiated and Marcellus Wilder or this guy Drew or whoever. I've never seen them there negotiating shit for Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, JD's, Shelly Finkel, they're the guys that make the decisions. So I don't want to hear nothing about, what's his name, the WBC president or whatever. These guys are, all these other guys speaking doesn't mean nothing. Let's continue.
Who they don't want to talk to. Because now this is going to be taken as truth.
But he's not talking to you.
This is going to be overstated.
And everything you say, he says is true.
This run on so many different platforms because Lance Pugmire has a voice within the sport of boxing. So if he says this, it's going to grow legs, it's going to pick up steam, and it's going to start to be a thing within the sport of boxing. And before you know it, it's going to be truth.
I got to call bullshit, right? Well, let's call a spade a spade. So in other words, he's going to have the same effect well, a bigger effect in the boxing world, like you guys got in the YouTube boxing world. That's what you're afraid of, because he has a voice. You have a voice too. All these, listen, all of these pro Wilder channels, and why we got to say it like that is because Wilder can do no wrong in these guys' eyes. Okay? It's not about trying to find fault. It's about finding the truth. The fault is the way you guys explain things, and then what you claim is going to happen doesn't come into fruition, right? So now think about it. If he says this, it's going to grow legs and it's going to be truth. Right, like you guys did the glove gate. Like you guys did the poison water. Who talked to you guys to let us know, to let you know that Mark Breland was fired when he's not fired? What gave you guys, where does all this information that you have on Fury, just like the boar meat? How many countless videos have we seen where people making claims of what Fury did, what he ate, he threatened the photographer, he threatened the farmer, all of this shit. I'm definitely going to have a follow-up to this video, man. But listen, people take words and use the trickery to get you, because if you already believe what they say, everything that they say, you guys are going, yep. See, that's what they do. No, the same thing you guys been doing, because you've yet to prove anything you said about Fury. And again, I don't give a shit about Fury. I'm not a fan of no fighter. So it's not a personal level for me with any of them. But basically, we don't want him to do and have the effect on a big boxing world, the actual boxing world, than what we have, the same way we have the effect on the YouTube boxing world. Let's go.
Which is the furthest thing from the truth. So, December 19th, Deontay Wilder is highly motivated. He has a huge chip on his shoulder.
He said they can misconstrue what Deontay Wilder said, if y'all missed that, about the costume being too heavy, and said that's the furthest thing from the truth. So he's debunking what Deontay said. And I'm going to do this follow-up. You're going to see it.
And he's very eager to get the trilogy match with Tyson Fury. I see people saying that's due to the beating that he took in the rematch, thus putting him under a dark cloud, and
you guys put him under a dark cloud.
At home in his bed under the covers and can't get out of the bed, and that's the furthest thing.
I gotta call bullshit. Didn't I, or did I not say they make Deontay Wilder sound like he's laid up in a body cast? Deontay's chilling. Did you guys not see that video? But you know how it's so funny that even in that video you have some idiots. Oh man, why you hating on Deontay? Go jump off a building, jackass, because you obviously have a comprehension problem. That's exactly what I've been saying. They make Deontay sound like that. None of this is coming from Deontay. If this video alone right here don't wake y'all up to make y'all really see, you know what, man, this is true. Deontay's not saying anything. You guys, any information that you hear about Deontay is coming from a boxing channel. It's not coming from Deontay Wilder. So, can we just say it's true because they say it when they're not saying Deontay told me himself? Let's go.
From the truth. I personally talked to Deontay Wilder a few times, and I know that he's back training. I know that he's motivated. The public should know that he's motivated. The character that he has.
Now
you see him out and about. He's just not talking to media about boxing. That's two different things. So for Lance Pugmire to run this with a platform and a voice is irresponsible on his part. But I can't wait to see how everything unfolds. The table is being set for Deontay Wilder, his legacy, to be a two-time heavyweight world champion.
Okay, let me call some more bullshit. Now, what did I just say? This is the first time I'm watching this video. I watched like the first 2 minutes and I said, wait, let me do a video and get this out right here. So this is the first time the video is 10 minutes and 52 seconds long. We're at the 5:39 point, okay? He just said, now remember earlier I said, he said Lance Pugmire, who hasn't reached out and spoke to Deontay, right? And I said, okay, he sounded like he has spoke to him, right? But notice, only thing he repeated, oh, Deontay is training, he's dedicated, he's motivated, whatever, right? Whatever, right? Did you hear him say anything? Now remember, according to these guys, Deontay's supposed to address these allegations about Fury cheating. You see how now all of a sudden they're trying to skip over all of that. Oh, forget what I said about all that. Deontay's focused. No. What is he repeating that Deontay said? He's focused. He wants the third fight, and he's debunking what everybody else said, right? Listen, y'all. I'm going to cut this video. I'm going to make a part 2 because I don't want to keep going with this. This one long video. I'm going to make a part 2 to this right now. I'm going to end this right here. Catch y'all on the next one.